Hey everybody, Neil Thompson, founder of Teach the Geek here. I work with technical professionals so they can present more effectively, especially in front of non-technical audiences. And you can learn more about that at teachthegeek.com. Again, that's teachthegeek.com. And as always, remember to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel as every bit helps. Today, I'd like to talk about intros and how to make them more engaging. And I have a couple of ways. They're sort of the opposites of each other. So bear with me. The first one would be to start with a story and then follow that up with a question. And the second one is to start with a question and follow that up with a story. So here's a couple of here's some examples of how that could look. The first one, start with a story and follow it up with a question. So here's the story. It harkens back to when I worked as an engineer in the orthobiologics space. You're probably wondering what's happening with the project. Well, the last time I was here, we were talking about, I spoke to you all about the packaging validation and how the distribution testing hadn't been started yet. I'm here to tell you that after a number of back and forth emails with the packaging facility, I'm glad to report that the distribution testing has started, and I've been assured that we will get the report by next week at the latest. So what's going on with the rest of the project? So there's an example of using a story followed by the question. The story being the packaging testing, the distribution testing specifically, and its delay and what's happened since the last meeting. Now that the distribution testing is back on schedule and the report will be next week. And then the question being, so what's up with the rest of the project? What's happening with the rest of the project? So that's an example. And then the second example is starting with a question and following that up with a story. So where do we stand with the project? Last time I was here, I spoke to you all about the packaging validation and the delay in the distribution testing. Well, I'm glad to report that after a number of back and forth emails with the packaging facility, the distribution testing has been started, and I've been assured that I will be receiving a report by next week at the latest. So there, I basically reversed it. So I started off with the question being basically what's going on with the project, and then following it up with the story of the packaging, and more specifically the distribution testing. So these are a couple of ways to engage an audience. Questions are always really helpful because people want to know the answers to the questions. And then with stories, especially once we were kids, and even as we became adults, we've always liked to hear stories. Stories don't have to be super long. They just have to have a clear beginning, middle, and end, and basically having some sort of resolution to the story. And then you can get on with the rest of your presentation. These are excellent ways to keep, especially a non-technical audience, engaged in a more technical type of presentation. I used to have to give these presentations in front of management on a monthly basis. And the way it was set up is a bunch of people had to give presentations back to back to back. It was an all day affair. So anything you can do to make the presentation more engaging for I guess the 10 minutes that I had to give my project status update, I'm sure that the people in the audience, many of whom were non-technical, would appreciate that because they had to sit through quite a number of presentations. So just to recap, a couple of ways to make the intro to a technical presentation more engaging is you start with a story followed up with a question, or number two, you start with a question and follow it up with a story. Hopefully that's been helpful. Again, my name is Neil Thompson. I'm the founder of Teach the Geek. I work with technical professionals so they can present more effectively, especially in front of non-technical audiences. And you can learn more about that at teachthegeek.com. Again, that's teachthegeek.com. And as always, remember to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, as every bit helps. Until next time, take care.